Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing smoking rooms. What are we talking about with respect to smoking rooms? Well, I thought of making this video after reading a recent article from the Bangkok Post. It's bangkokpost.com. Article is titled, "Weed Shops to Provide Smoke Spots." Quoting directly, cannabis, and I urge those who are watching this video, a lot of information in that article, a lot of up-to-date information in that article. Check out that article for yourself if you want sort of the full context. I'm going to quote a small excerpt. Quoting directly, cannabis sellers on Koh San Road will be told they must operate their own smoking places to help keep the local environment free of the pungent smell of marijuana. The newly built Plantopia Zone is one such venue that will allow cannabis sales and smoking for visitors. The Department of Thai Traditional and Complementary Medicine had insisted that licensed cannabis sellers were allowed to distribute cannabis buds, but it was against the law to allow cannabis smoking or eating areas in their shops. Yeah, this has kind of been one of these gray areas that we're hashing out as we're seeing this regulatory structure kind of come to the foreground. And look, this is just how law and regulation gets made. I saw this happen in the United States. You know, they pass a law or they change a policy, major policy, and then they have to start dealing with, okay, how do we deal with this? How do we regulate it? How do we make it so, you know, we get tax revenues, but at the same time we kind of weigh the social benefits and you know, contemporary community standards type thinking. How do we deal with that? This is what we're working through right now. So the interesting thing to me, though, is these smoking rooms, if you will, might end up being a major boon to the Thai commercial real estate sector, which has been heavily hit. Anybody that's been over here thus far, and believe me, we're happy to see the tourists. It was great. I was down in Pattaya this past weekend with all the fireworks and everything. People were everywhere. It was great to see the tourists back. I think I speak for everyone in Thailand when I say welcome back. We're also happy to see you. We're especially, frankly, happy to see your money, and that's great as well. But the commercial real estate sector is really hurting in many ways. Some of it is from sort of some more systemic changes within the overall economy, both locally here in Thailand and globally, due to things like the internet. You know, the retail sector just isn't what it once was. These kind of things, there's not the demand for retail space that perhaps there once was. These smoking rooms may actually, inadvertently maybe, end up sopping up a little bit of, you know, I'm not going to say it's going to be the end-all be-all, but it may end up ameliorating, if you will, some of the lack of demand for overall commercial real estate here in Thailand at the moment, especially in tourism-type sectors and zones, and even in places, frankly, that aren't particularly, you know, tourist-oriented, because, again, these rules are probably going to end up applying across the board. So something to think about, sort of an aspect of this that I sort of saw from my unique perspective, I guess you could say, where, yeah, on the one hand, this may look like, you know, kind of overly imposing some regulation. First of all, I got no problem with regulation. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think Thailand's got to kind of walk a middle path on this issue. Yes, I think it's good that they've legalized this. I think it's good they've commoditized this. It's an agricultural commodity at the end of the day. That really is fundamentally what it is. People also fail to see the medicinal. I think it's really interesting. The media has sensationalized greatly, you know, the recreational side of this. There is a medicinal side of this. I've talked to many older folks. I'm doing another video contemporaneously with this one discussing this as well. But I've talked to many older folks here in Thailand that have come to Thailand, especially to retire, because they like the liberal attitude toward things like, you know, the cannabinoid oils and things like that that they use for various medicinal purposes. So people have, I think the media especially has kind of lost focus on the medicinal side. But okay, you know, when you're looking at the sort of tangential, whatever you want to call it, recreational side of this, I do get it. There needs to be a middle path. I've said in other videos, I don't particularly want to live in a place where I'm walking around smelling that everywhere. I don't really want to be explaining to children or, you know, people's family. I don't want families to have to explain to their children what that is and what's going on. It's not something that I think is a great idea. Now, if you smell it for a moment, you know, and people are trying their best to sort of keep everything in line, then I don't think there's any reason to be unduly picky about that issue. But I do get the policy argument big time against, you know, just having it out in the open and everywhere. I think the notion of smoking rooms is a good idea, and I think inadvertently it may end up being a boon to the commercial real estate sector here in the Kingdom of Thailand.